Word for 45 years.
Who?
Elevate your mind and spirit. Elevate your body and soul.
3.
Hi, I just want to give you a background on the little skit that we had with the baby. That was my mother's biological mother giving her to her sister. And her sister raised her until she passed away. And after Mom passed away, my mom was given to her biological grandmother. So that was that little skit. So that was like in the beginning. And then several years later, my mom had 3 girls, okay? And when we were growing up, we lived in at least 3 different sets of projects.
That's interesting. Cause,
Yeah.
Because I had both parents and, a dad and a mom. So just giving you just a little bit of insight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some people lived like in one project. We lived in 3 different sets of projects. Mom always tried to provide for us. And in fact, after we got grown and out of that situation, we heard the word dysfunctional. So we never considered our family to be dysfunctional because we lived in 3 different sets of projects and about
See, I really
4
never,
different cities.
yeah, I never thought he'd being dysfunctional. 'Cause
Yeah.
I thought it was normal because even though I lived with both parents, and we lived in Bakersfield, which is a place on another planet, and then we also moved to another city, and then I grew up in, well, everybody knows where I grew up that knows me, but go ahead. 'Cause
And I remember one memory I had with Mom when Mom would go shopping. Whenever Mom left the house, she would always come back with something for us to eat. And one of the things that was a treat to us was my sisters and I was bologna.
Cheese.
No cheese,
Oh.
just bologna and crackers. And that was considered a treat for us that Mom brought us when she went out.
We had bologna, cheese, and with those vanilla crack cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We had Ritz crackers and bologna, and that was considered our treat.
Yeah.
So, also, I remember when Mom went shopping, every time when she came home, she'd take that receipt and she'd check each item and make sure that she had all the items that she was charged for. And I remember her doing that every time she went to the grocery store. So, also I remember when I was in high school, I wasn't the type of person that was outgoing or had a lot of friends. So when I was in high school, I didn't even think about what am I going to do when I finish high school. So thank God I had a work experience teacher that suggested to me that, why don't you go to college? Which I hadn't even thought about what I was going to do after I finished high school. So I applied to a couple of colleges, and the first college that accepted me, I accepted them, and I went to that college. So then I moved to that city where that college was. So
I was told I was not college material, so okay.
yeah. Even though my children and my husband have...
But wait a minute, that class you were telling me about, are you talking about that teacher you told me about that they would not be teaching you the same thing?
Oh, that was a different experience. That was a class I took in high school where someone in the class asked the instructor, if we were white students, would you be teaching us the same thing? And the teacher said, no, y'all would be bored. So that was all I remember about that incident in high school. So, finished college, started working, and then I met my husband, at Bible study one Monday night. So 6 months later, we started talking and dating, and about 2 years later, we got married. So anyway, I'm going to fast forward to our children. We have 4 children, and one of the memories I have from the children is when I would want my kids to play outside, right, when they were little, and not always hang in the house. So my daughter would run in and out, in and out. So one time I was getting mad at her for keep running in and out, and she said, "Please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet." And she was like 3 or 4 years old when she said that. I thought that was so cute. And then another memory from my second daughter was when she saw my third daughter. The first time she saw my third daughter, she looked at her and she said, "Doll." And that daughter that she called Doll, I remember when she was a little baby and I would sit her in my lap and I would say, "Stand up." I called her Poquita Mama. And she would, like, her little wobbly legs, she would just stand up. Oh. Then I would say, sit down, and she would sit down. And she wasn't even a year yet when she was doing that. And then another memory from my son, he was maybe almost a year, about a year. No, he was about a year. Yeah, he was at least a year. We were coming back from somewhere and pulled up in the driveway, and he started running back toward the street. I said, "Where you going?" And he said, "I just want to hug the birds." And I thought that was so cute. So let me back up to a little bit too. I want to talk about some health issues that I had after I finished high school. I always had my girls. You know, we all have fibroids, and I didn't know anything about fibroids. I didn't know why my periods were so heavy. But they were heavy, and after I had my first child, the doctor told me, well, before that, when I was in college, I was anemic, and I didn't know that at that time. I didn't ask a lot of questions, so I didn't know that heavy periods were related to fibroids. So I had all this heavy period. I even went to the hospital and let this doctor give me a shot that was supposed to decrease the amount of blood loss, but it really didn't work, and I don't know what I was injected with to this day. Like I said, I didn't ask questions. I should have asked more questions and find out what was going on with my body. So I have learned a lot since then, and so my daughters, well, yeah, I didn't know I had fibroids until after I had my first daughter. The doctor made a comment like, "Oh, you got fibroids all over the place," and I didn't have, I shouldn't say sense enough, but I didn't ask them more questions about that. Till my daughters, they all have fibroids now. So it's like, if I had known, I could have shared my information with them, and maybe things would have went like a little smoother in their lives with that. So that was that.
Okay. Anyway, she was talking about her history.
A little piece of my
And it's our history, you know, we're married. And then the interesting thing, we have disappeared because we're trying to figure out how to present, you know, our life with what we really think and how we behave in order to survive in the lay of the land. So anyway, I had some thoughts, because back in my history, I had some pretty good elementary teachers when I was in elementary. I still remember one male, and it's one thing is, I want to say this, that no one should take the responsibility. This is my belief. No one should take the responsibility for an entire race. So I can't, if I do something bad, my race is not responsible for that, nor any other person that's white, Asian, whatever race that they're in. The one person's behavior does not that. So I just want to say that. But anyway, I played ball. I love sports, and also I had no choice with academics. I had to deal with that. And you can kind of see the parallel to my wife and myself. And I just want to share you some brief stories because, you know, like I said, I had some good teachers and I had some bad ones that that came up with some very interesting things. In other words, I had one particular teacher that was white that lied and said I hit her trying to break up a fight. I never touched her, was nowhere, around her, but, that's what it is. And then also, I had experiences when I was in high school playing ball that played against a white team, and the referees called something like 48 fouls that we fouled them in the first half, and we only fouled them 7 times. So I thought that was really interesting. And what I loved about my coach, which was white, that he stood up for us. And I love that about the coach. I can play with it, play for a coach like that. He was white. He taught me a lot of things. I went and dealt with his mother-in-law, and we built an interesting relationship. Also, too, there was another story. When I was in college, I took an advanced COBOL class, and in the class there was one particular white gentleman that was pretty much, he was intimidating people and stealing their homework. And I happened to run. He was in my advanced COBOL class, and he asked me, because it was the very last project that we had to do. He asked me if I did and I said yes. He says, "Would you throw it away so we can negotiate with the instructor?" They did not know the instructor. The instructor had a very good relationship, and of course, at that time I had 7 years of experience in the field of programming, and I finished that particular exercise, and they were asking me to throw it away, but I turned around and asked the class if it was the other way around, would you throw it away so we can negotiate? They had nothing to say, so that was interesting there. Then, as I grew up in my career, like I said, I went back to make sure that particular individual was negative. He was white. Professor was white. He was excellent. He did some great things, for me, some business things. So then when I grew up and finally got into the field, I'm a software developer. And what's really interesting, that, flying a lot. I did a lot of flying. And it was sometimes I had experience. It was kind of fun, but I didn't like it because people were mistaking me for celebrities because I had suits on and stuff like that. And, to me,
that's they mistaken you for.
I don't want to tell you.
You don't want to say.
No.
Okay.
Because every time they say, people, I don't look like neither one of them. That they, because they had a suit. But anyway, there was one thing is a negative experience is it was on an airline where I had just a small roller bag. It was one of those roller bags you can put your laptop, everything in it, and maybe a shirt or something you're gone for a short period of time. And I put it on the overhead, right over the top of me, and it has a very small footprint. So this stewardess told me to take it down and put it somebody that actually, needs that. I said, well, I'm a passenger too. But no, somebody else needs it more. You can put it in and put it underneath your feet. That was not a very good experience. So myself personally, if I had the characters, Orangey and Brother Donkey and Orangey is the young kid, is the experience he's had when he's young, and Brother Donkey is the one to say exactly what he means. He's stubborn. He's going to say what he's got to say. But I'm Theo.
Can I jump in?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. And my AKA is Sister Fussy, and one of our friends used to call me that because I guess because I fuss at my children so much. And I would get so angry when he would call me that, and I would get angry when he would call my kids El Destructo. But I understand now how little kids can be.
Yeah. So these characters are trying to get you to say what we really would like to say, because the lay of the land now, it's not good, and no one, as far as I have to say in this journey in my life today, I'll have to say I have. They probably, if they see this, he says, well, you're not talking to me. But when I do pick up the phone and call some of my acquaintances I work with, it's like we haven't missed a day. I care a lot about them, but they can see that we're busy. Right. And we're constantly busy. So just want to end this is we believe in education. we believe in doing the right thing, and let's just take the right approach, to life, because this war that's happening right now, that's not good. What does that song say? What is war? What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. So anyway,
this has been a little piece of our Black history, so we hope we said something that you can relate to.
yeah, and that's one thing I can say. I'm a proud father of my kids, because I have kids that graduated from
Four great kids.
Four great kids.
Four great
And
kids.
we have they graduated from junior colleges all the way to the elite school of MIT, University of Michigan, Ohio, Riverside. It just goes on and on. And I want to encourage my kids to keep going, just be a better version of us.
Exactly.
That's
I
it.
agree with that. Bye.